He's still the nation's leading scorer at 26.3 points per game. And we are underway, and the tip comes right to me.
Good hands.
My offhand as well.
Impressive. That was impressive. We were ready for everything over here, ladies and gentlemen.
So K-State basketball and Missy been the slow starts the last 4 games for K-State. They have found themselves down double digits in almost every game right off the bat. Inside to Kamari McGriff, and an easy 2 begins it for K-State.
And that's a good sign. You've got to get movement in this half-court offense. You're going to see a lot of pressure, and it's going to be aggressive for Mississippi Valley State tonight.
Here's a look at the starters for the Delta Devils. 1-8 on the year. And last week lost 66-52 on the road at Louisiana Monroe. The game before that put up 84 against Texas A&M. The bad news is they allowed 120.
I think that's the differentiator for them, is that they've got to be able to find a way to get stops. And for K-State, you've got to be in attack mode from the get-go tonight.
James drops down and knocks it away from Kamari McGriff. The first 2 from Mississippi Valley State from Michael James, a prolific scorer, averaging 20 a game. He had 32 in that loss on the road against Texas A&M as Haggerty looks into Nate Johnson.
Michael James, the 2-time SWAC Newcomer of the Week, back-to-back. And you've seen his ability to score, and he can put up big points. He's going to be a problem for Kansas State tonight.
Good box out and rebound after the miss from Abdi Bashir by Lamont Sams. Mayfield has it stripped and thrown away. Rapiak was looking for the long ball to P.J. Haggerty. Holmes on the pull-up, no. And the lob and catch and finish from Nate Johnson. And that's something K-State's lacked a little bit as well, is the ability to get out and run, because they haven't been as successful on the defensive end. It's limited their fast break opportunities, and it's showtime now for Johnson.
Well, and early, we have seen the pressure here for Kansas State be able to create some offense. It's something Jerome Tang talked about at the beginning of the season. They've got to create chaos. You've got to be able to score off your defense.
And another turnover, and the run out for Haggerty. An 8-2 run to begin this one, and just what the doctor ordered for the Wildcats, and a timeout from George Ivory.
An effort. I think early we're seeing spurts of that, where this team understands tonight's the night where 99% of what happens here is about them. They've got to take care of their own business. You got to get stops, you got to find open players, be unselfish, do the little things. You dial that in, it really helps to kind of collect this group and give them opportunities to win.
Wildcats with 4 layups to begin this one, 3 off of turnovers, and then 1 out of the half court, finding Kamari McGriff. Looking for James on the screen. Now they get him open in the corner. Nice ball fake, but turns down the 3. Fired into Mayfield, and he is fouled. Good work on the offensive end. Ball movement by the Delta Devils that trip. How about your keys tonight for both teams?
Well, we talk about this Mississippi Valley State squad. It's got to be a pressure campaign. You're going to have to get after it defensively, active in the passing lanes, make them score over tough defense. And they've got to knock down shots tonight, whether it's in the half court or in transition. And for the Wildcats, it's the detail list. It's the little things. You've got to eliminate the mental mistakes, execute, block out. You got to bring the energy and that stop and go. The defensive stops, which we've seen, generating turnovers, creating some offense with your defense. This team has been at their best, especially when you think about those early games that they won, Ben. They're best in transition. That hasn't been there as much. Part of that is you're not getting stops. You're allowing teams then to get themselves set defensively because they've had so many makes. You need to generate that chaos, give yourself a chance to get out and go.
Castillo in there along with C.J. Jones for Jerome Tang. Inside to McGriff, doesn't finish, but he's fouled. It's rare to see him miss. He's shooting 80% on the year from the field. He doesn't have enough attempts to qualify for the Big 12 stats. Otherwise, he would lead the league easily.
Yeah, I love the seal, just to be able to get the position down low, looking for that high-low opportunity, and it's a great feed inside. Over the last 4 games, just shy of 8 points and 5 boards a game for McGriff. 12 points, 8 rebounds against Seton Hall. He's been foul-prone at times, but as many minutes as he can give Jerome Tang and this staff, I think the better off this K-State team is, because he's got experience and that winning mentality. He knows what it takes for this group to be successful.
Well, there's no doubt K-State's got to get production from the 4 and the 5 spots at both ends of the court. And he gets them both, so 10-4 Cats early on.
And a couple substitutions, C.J. Jones and David Castillo into the lineup, looking to create some sparks off the bench.
C.J. Jones earning more and more minutes here of late for the Wildcats. Had the big game on the road against Indiana. Holmes on the attack, gets turned away. A little pull-up jumper from the baseline. Michael James has 4.
And it's just so smooth, and he's going to be able to elevate over anyone. Just at 6'1", the junior is a prolific scorer.
Jerome Tang talked about him having a burst, and you saw it right there. Haggerty from deep, yes!
The one piece of P.J. Haggerty's game that hasn't been a huge point of emphasis, but if they're going to give him that space, he's got to make the defense honor it. You got to step up and knock down threes.
Came in hitting 33% from downtown on the year. That's his 11th make. And a good sign for the Wildcats. Mayfield double teamed. Back out to Holmes. Air ball rebounded by Castillo. Castillo to the rack, has it blocked and out of bounds to K-State.
The sophomore coming in off the bench, having started the last 2 games. First 7 games came off the bench, started 2, now back on the bench. And this Mississippi Valley squad's going to work hard. They're going to move without the basketball, and James with that sweet jumper on the baseline. And Haggerty hands down just enough space from the defender to step up and shoot that 3 with confidence, a great sign.
Second chance opportunity into Doreen Buka, and he is fouled. And boy, he's become a fan favorite and really played some good basketball on Saturday in the loss to Seton Hall.
Absolutely gave him some big minutes. Going to have to do it again here tonight.
First break, Kansas State by 7.
To kind of just slough off some of the bad games, and they've sort of snowballed, and that's what happens when when you don't have a ton of success.
So here's Buka at the free throw line. Again, great game for him against Seton Hall off the bench. Played a season-high 17 minutes. Had 3 blocks, 7 boards, and 5 points. And he just continues to get better.
I love the rim protection, and that's one thing that you can count on when you've got Buka in that back line. You cannot teach size. And at 7'2", that is a huge advantage for this Wildcat defense.
Mayfield tries to turn baseline on him. Gets it to James in the corner. Fight for the rebound. Ends up in the hands of James and knocked out of bounds.
And that's one thing K-State's got to do a much better job of here tonight, is you've got to limit those second chances. It's got to be one and done. All 5 players got to block out. You got to move people out. There will be a lot of long rebounds with this Mississippi Valley State offense. They are going to look to shoot threes. They want to get out and go. You've got to be able to track down those loose balls.
Mayfield with the air ball. And we've got some perspiration on the floor here that they'll wipe up. But, yeah, K-State's looking for a big to step up and be a rebounder for him. Right now, it's Nate Johnson and P.J. Haggerty are the 2 leading rebounders.
Amen. And 2.1 plus rebounding margin on the season, but in the last 4 games, they're in the negative. So they've been out-rebounded within this losing streak. And that really starts to talk about those second chances, the 50-50 possessions, keeping teams on the offensive glass. Seton Hall, they had too many second chance opportunities, and it was just those type of plays that then again, they start to snowball, they give them confidence, and your opponents start to feel it, especially when they're on the road.
And Buka had in 17 minutes 7 boards, so we'll see how many minutes he gets tonight. Castillo with the fake, gets all the way to the baseline, and a foul before the lob.
Well, it looks as though they're going to give David Castillo 2 shots. Even though it wasn't necessarily quote-unquote on the pass. that he's going to head to the free throw line. He goes baseline, just continues to clear space, but most definitely gets that shot up, draws a ton of contact. Been so impressed with the sophomore. He had 22 points against Bowling Green, a strong second half in that loss here a week ago, and has been finding that rhythm, becoming much more of an assertive scorer. And that's one thing Jerome Tang is needed to continue to build this backcourt.
Coming off the bench tonight after starting the last couple of games, I think Jerome Tang maybe likes having that pop off the bench more so than putting him in the starting lineup. We'll see how that plays out over the next couple games.
And wanting more size, knowing that this group has struggled to rebound. And when you can have bigger posts in there to start the game, gives you more of a real presence in the post.
Haggerty gets called for his first personal. James looking for a screen. Bounced inside. Little baby hook won't drop. And loose ball, Taj Banning on the deck. That starts a 3-on-1 break. Johnson is fouled.
Thought he might try to lay it up for Buka on an alley-oop. But a scrum and a hustle play on the other end, and Taj Manning gets that ball out, and now the Cats are off to the races. Went for the monster dunk, gets fouled on the way up, but Nate Johnson headed to the free throw line. I love the matchup of him against Michael James on the other end, a very big, strong, athletic guard at 6'3", looking to shut down the top scorer for this Mississippi Valley State squad.
Johnson makes the first. He has 5. Leading rebounder on this team. He's been in double figures in 6 of the 9 games. Had 11 Saturday against Seton Hall, but like a lot of guys, hasn't shot it great and hasn't maybe played to the level we saw earlier in the season during this 4-game losing streak.
Yeah, had just 4 points against Bowling Green here a week ago, and I think that was a hurt Kansas State, not to be able to have that scoring punch from James.
James with the runner. There's a strong rebound from Buka. High screen, Haggerty stolen away, and a run out for James. James with 6 of the 8 for Mississippi Valley. Buka on the block. Castillo.
It's a 2-3 zone look right now for Mississippi Valley State, and if you're going to give him that space, you've got to be ready to shoot on the catch. Feet set, David Castillo knocks it down.
Some good patience there against the zone. K-State had maybe a couple open looks, but gave it up for the best look, and Castillo able to knock it down. Mayfield stripped from behind, retains possession, and misses the jumper. Reverse. Blocked and rebounded by Buka. More good ball movement, and Haggerty gets all the way to the rim with the left hand.
All happens on the ball reversal, and that's exactly what you want to see against a zone. As you said it, Ben, you want to go from a good shot to a great shot. And now Kansas State, 13-2 run over the last 3, 40+. David Castillo knocks down that 3, 2 possessions earlier. And PJ Haggerty able to catch on the reverse with the defense on the shift, and that's what you want to be able to do. You want to make them move on that pass so that when he catches it, he's got a full head of steam headed to the rim and able to finish off the bounce.
So look at the field goal shooting through the first 7+ minutes here. This is Barnett back in for Mississippi Valley. He goes baseline looking for James, and the jumper won't drop for James, and a whistle on the rebound.
And that's just effort right there from this Mississippi Valley State squad as they are going to work to get on the glass. They're looking for second chances. If you're the Cats, you've got to put a body on all 5.
Punch for three. Almost got it to drop. Second chance here for Mississippi Valley. Back to Punch. Punch on the drive. Left hand won't drop, but a foul called on Kansas State. Punch started against Louisiana Monroe, coming off the bench here tonight. Had 8 in that loss last week.
Yeah, went 2 of 14 from the field, but you see the explosion, and that all happens off second chances. Again, you've got to be able to block out at all 5 positions because they are going to crash and look to keep those possessions alive. And now Patrick Punch, the 6'4" redshirt junior, averaged almost 14 points a game in his career at National Park Community College. That's where he came before he landed at Mississippi Valley State.
Touted as a very good three-point shooter, although the numbers haven't shown up for him yet this year, shooting just 16% from downtown. Gets the second one.
I think what you find is you're going to have all 5 on the floor, more than likely for Mississippi Valley. With that three-point range, you've really got to lock in, find those shooters.
Fired inside, an easy jam for Taj Manning. Well, we're seeing more of what we...
Only of the institution, but of this basketball program. And you mentioned it, spending time on the road. This group, they are going to travel over 8,800 miles just in the non-conference this coming season.
Got some more Power 4 games coming up. They'll go to Oklahoma, go to West Virginia, among others. And a foul inside. And not only raising money for the basketball program, but these teams like this, they've got to raise money for the entire athletic department to support the other sports.
Absolutely, and so there's so many different components to this. We talk about buy games. It's really something that's come up in college football a lot. You see it in the college game, both men's and women's. We know it's out there, but this Mississippi Valley squad, 4 Power 4 opponents in 5 games to finish out 2025. K-State, they'll be at Florida State, West Virginia, Oklahoma, as you said it. They've already been to Hawaii. They were part of the Rainbow Classic. Daniel Mayfield, he was part of the all-tournament team there. So this has not been an easy road, but what you will see is a lot of talent from top to bottom on this roster. And George Ivory understands putting together a team that wants to compete against some of the best in the nation.
Barnett missing the second free throw. If you were wondering, the one win this year coming against Division III Mississippi University for women. And yes, they have a men's team, but that's their lone win so far this year as Manning lets it fly from 3. Pretty good Griff there with the help, but a long rebound out to James.
Back-to-back offensive rebounds right there by Mississippi Valley. The tip out and the miss by James, but yet another possession here for Green.
Mayfield for 3, and finally rebounded by Haggerty for K-State. Delta Devils have gone hard to the offensive glass, but not made K-State pay much for it so far as Castillo misfires from deep. James trying to use the screen. Cross court over to Punch and dumped inside to Mayfield. Raises up over McGriff and leaves it short. Haggerty double teamed hard and knocked out of bounds.
And a great decision defensively from the Delta Devils to be able to get Haggerty to get close to that sideline, and then you use it almost as a third defender. But they chase him there hard on the jump and run and left really with nowhere to go. You've got to be aware. They're going to throw some different looks at you defensively. We mentioned it at the start about that pressure campaign to be able to not only do it half court, full court, different looks. We've seen zone, but they got to get out and they want to be aggressive, especially in the passing lanes.
Big target inside for Buka. Gets it outside. Abdi Bashir rings the bell.
We've seen the advantage in the post where Kansas State has scored 12 if they're 28 inside. But that time inside out, Bashir knocks down a 3.
Buka's a good passer. We've seen it throughout the season, although he hadn't played a whole lot of minutes, but he makes some good looks.
And I think that's that European upbringing in the European game. It is true fundamentals. And even at 7'2", he's got to learn to pass and dribble, do the little things within the game.
2-point jumper drops for Xavier Barnett. He's got the last 3 for Mississippi Valley. Haggerty skips through the lane and scores. CJ. Rapiak. Nice catch and finish. Assist to Haggerty.
Yeah, back-to-back plays from P.J. Haggerty. The first, the finish at the rim. That time, eyes up off the outlet. And you're going to find Rapiak down low. It's a one part of P.J. Haggerty's game a lot of people don't talk about. We know about the scoring, but he is truly an underrated passer.
Rapiak had been scoreless the last 2 games after scoring a season-high 9 in the loss at Indiana. Has his first 2 tonight, and that's thrown away.
And Rapiak started 6 of the first 7 games, Ben, and again, in the starting lineup here tonight, I think because of his size and his strength and ability to help on the glass, but to be able to do just that, catch and finish. Great hands, great IQ, understands good position down low.
James with the strip. And outruns Rapiak for another layup.
That's quick hands out in that passing lane, just able to strip Bashir as he was trying to come off that curl screen, and he's going the other way quick for 2.
Haggerty fires another one inside to Rapiak. Can't finish this time, but gets it back, score it, and a foul.
That effort and energy that Jerome Tang talked about, he liked even in the loss against Seton Hall. And we've seen a much better sense of urgency here tonight to start this game, and a great sign on the putback. Rapiak can't get it to go on the initial catch, but stays with the play. Draws that contact and finish. We talked about great footwork. He's also got great hands. And I say that, and then he airballs a free throw.
That one was well short, but he'll take the 2 buckets. As Moby Ike Garuka returns for Rapiak. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Taj Manning's back in. I thought I saw Moby coming. Oh, circus shot chance for Mayfield there. Alley-oop, CJ, no. And fired out to James, and he will jam it.
So quick, but that's an outlet there. The missed opportunity for Kansas State, and the Delta Devils making him pay on the other end.
Yeah, that was a quick turn of events there. 4-point swing. Haggerty into the corner, and Abdi was out of bounds before he let it fly. Timeout on the floor. K-State comfortably ahead in this one. 34-16 with 7:44 to go. Got to know where Bashir is at all times. Sophie Smith was in the K-State huddle at the timeout. Sophie, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Ben. A very animated Jerome Tang in that last timeout. He talked about the self-inflicted wounds of that last series of play. He said that Abdi Bashir cannot be out of bounds on a catch and shoot. He said every second, every minute they're out on this court, they have to keep getting better.
Attention to detail. Buka couldn't get the little baby hook, but gotta love the rim protection at the other end of the court.
Yeah, he's doing his job on the other end. You think about your post and what you need out of your bigs. I always say it's pretty simple. You've got to play defense, do it without fouling. You've got to rebound and be the rim protection. Scoring an added benefit.
Barnett misfires. Haggerty collects, and here comes Castillo. So tough, and to finish.
Love the fact he's just able to get the defender on his hip and go, and doesn't allow for that hesitation or any of that contact to take him off that straight line drive to finish.
7 points coming off the bench tonight for David Castillo, and the Cats lead it by 20. A foul on Buka.
David Castillo just able to get a full head of steam off the outlet, coming the other direction. Takes the contact inside foot, inside hand, outside foot, and it's just one of the toughest shots to make, but it's so simple, and it just seems easy. But with that kind of contact and a guy on your hip kind of riding you the whole way,
yeah,
that's where you see how he's made so many strides from last year to this year.
Foul and a good inbounds play by Mississippi Valley. Now, Castillo hadn't shot it as well as he started the year from three, but his ability to get to the rim has continued throughout this season.
Well, you got to have a lot of tools in the toolbox, and I think that's one thing that David Castillo has, is that you just don't want to be a three-point shooter. The versatility of the backcourt is one of the benefits that Jerome Tang has at his disposal. He's got guys that can shoot threes, ones that can get downhill, that can do a little bit of both. You need them all to be able to create in different ways.
Punch at the free throw line. He's got 2 in the first half for the Delta Devils. Manning back to Haggerty. Castillo bounced it off his foot into the hands of Nate Johnson. Castillo leans in and had it blocked. Maybe should have just taken the shot from about 5 feet.
Yeah, tough possession right there for David Castillo, and the Wildcats dodge a bullet because the Delta Devils got the stop that they wanted, forced David Castillo into a tough shot off a broken play, but then throw it away into the crowd. And now K-State retains possession here. A bit of a reset right now in the half court.
Eight to shoot. Back to Johnson. Knocked away from P.J. Haggerty. Quick hands by Barnett. And a couple empty trips the last 2 times for K-State.
We talked about it at the top, the pressure that you're going to see in different waves from Mississippi Valley.
Mazine misses on the turnaround. He's from Stockholm, Sweden. International flair for Mississippi Valley, and Taj Manning scores it. Ten points on the year for Manning, 4 of them here in the first half. Haggerty knocked it away, couldn't come up with the steal. Here comes James. Corner 3, no, and Haggerty retrieves. Saves it in, and here come the Cats. Johnson, transition 3, he hits.
That's where this team has been at its best over the course of these first 9 games. You get a stop on one end, push pace, and find your shooters on those secondary break looks. It's a weapon they have not been able to capitalize on over the last 4 games.
Johnson with 9, K-State 4 of 9 from downtown. Mississippi Valley State yet to connect from deep. They're 0 of 5. Punch, pull-up jumper, no. Probably could have taken the 3. Johnson looking for somewhere to go. Bounced inside to McGriff, who wasn't ready for it. Here comes James. Blocked from behind by McGriff. Off of James to K-State. Good hustle there by the big fella after he didn't catch the pass.
Scored just 52 last week in their loss at Louisiana Monroe, where they went 3 of 17 from behind the 3-point line. So finding success has been in spurts for them. We've seen it here tonight, but this Kansas State defense has been much more aggressive, especially out on the perimeter.
Yeah, I think James has 6 of his 10 points after live ball turnovers that just led to easy layups at the other end. So they have got very little in the half court against K-State tonight. Haggerty from the free throw line, and he'll go right back there with a chance to make it an old-fashioned three-point play.
I love that look from PJ Haggerty, just to be able to take that pull-up jumper off that high ball screen, lets the defense get by, feet set, takes it on the hand, knocks down the jumper. Now he's back into double figures. As we said over the last couple games, you could tell that the frustration was setting in. He hasn't shot it as well as he'd wanted from the free throw line, hasn't scored at the level we've seen earlier in the season. But you got to play within yourself. Understand what the defense gives you. That was a great example of doing just that.
Well, it's a long season, and everybody's going to have their tough games, and he is bouncing back tonight. Still no threes.
And you got to think about the competition that this K-State team has gone up against. This has been a very tough non-con that Jerome Tang and his staff put together. And with that said, great coaches and staffs are going to come up with a scatter report to know they need to stop an All-American PJ Haggerty.
Good look up high. Johnson, no. Rapiek. Back to Haggerty. Hits! Haggerty with 14 in the game.
Knocked down 2 threes here in this first half. A lot of people would say that's really his third option. First 2, get to the rim, jumpers, and at the free throw line. But stepping and shooting it with confidence off the second chance opportunities, we've seen that a couple times tonight, making the next pass to be able to find open shooters. This Kansas State offense finding rhythm in the first half.
So a foul after the made shot, a 1-and-1 for Buka. So a chance for a 5-point trip here for K-State if Buka can knock this one down.
You got to take advantage. You know, how many times have we seen, even just in this first 20 minutes, where Mississippi Valley State's been able to get out on those live ball turnovers? You make mistakes on one end, you got to step up and make them pay. If that's at the free throw line, do your job. And Buka does just that, knocks down the 1-on-1.
Let me correct myself. Haggerty has 15 after that 3. Manning. And stolen by Rapiek. Looking for a guard, and he is fouled in the backcourt by Delkedrick Holmes.
That's going to be steal number 5 for Kansas State here in this first half. Great anticipation and activity from Rapiek, and there's a reason why he's back in the starting lineup tonight, to be able to give this Kansas State team a bit of a boost in the post. We talked about it earlier, Ben, needing not only rebounding, but some scoring punch as well. And you got to have that from those bigs. The front court to be able to balance with the explosiveness of this backcourt for the Wildcats. That's the chess pieces that Jerome Tang's got to continue to move around on his board.
Johnson with the miss. Haggerty's going to try again off the front rim this time. Quickly ahead to Mayfield. James pops up and misses, and a foul on K-State inside.
And that is a tough shot for Michael James at 6'1", the junior guard, to be able to come across that screen over a contested shot from 6'2". Just does not get the friendly roll, which usually does not happen much on the road. But the foul called against Rapiek. Now 3 fouls, 5 points here in this first half.
Musa Mazin at the free throw line, gets it to drop. Junior out of Stockholm, Sweden.
Averaged over 5 points a game in 30 career games at Eastfield Community College. Playing just shy of 12.5 minutes a game this season. But at his size, a real advantage to be able to lock down that paint for Mississippi Valley State.
Bashir from the wing buries it. Second three of the night for Abdi Bashir. (17-2) run for K-State. They really opened this up. Buka with the block. Now James going to try and make something happen against Johnson. Mayfield isn't going to get it off. K-State with some strong defense there, led by 7'2" Doreen Buka in the middle with the block.
Yeah, it was a great sequence by Kansas State. The last three on the previous trip by Bashir. It was that high ball screen from Buka and just able to create some space from the defender. And that's the tough part against all of these opponents that come in and have to face K-State is you've got shooters out on the perimeter. How do you want to defend? Do you want to go under screens? Do you want to go over? You want to make them chase. We've seen Mississippi Valley chase in a couple possessions. That time they go under. Bashir just with too much time to be able to get his feet set.
Here comes the screen again. Crowd wanted him to pull the trigger on the three. Whipped inside. How about the dunk instead? Great look from Abdi Bashir.
That's a much better, more high percentage shot right there. Within the framework, I think, of what Jerome Tang and his staff want from their offense. The three from the 7'2" junior, that's not it. But the flush inside, absolutely, and a fantastic pass by Abdi Bashir. Head up, head on a swivel. You've got to be ready, and he's able to finish inside.
13 assists on the night for Kansas State. And Doreen Buka continues to improve and become a bigger part of this K-State team.
Well, he appeared in the first 7 games, did not play against Bowling Green. As you said, 17 minutes, had those 7 rebounds against Seton Hall. Really, I thought gave the Cats a spark when he was in there. A difference maker, especially defensively. What we're seeing tonight is his ability, especially with the size advantage that the Wildcats have offensively, to be the impact that they need in the post, to be able to lock down that paint on the offensive end. You get space, you turn and pin, you catch, you kick it out, you finish at the rim. You ask post players to keep it simple. For him right now, that is easy.
K-State, some backcourt pressure as Mississippi Valley can almost hold for the final shot, about a 5-second differential. Barnett is going to go ahead and take it, and he's fouled on the way up by Buka. Mississippi Valley State takes a ton of 2-point jumpers, which goes against everything the analytics guys talk about.
Yeah, I think all of the NBA folks are probably rolling over looking at those numbers because the 3-point shot just not necessarily part of their game. It's going to be the mid-range jumper. It's going to be the penetration and trying to create off the bounce. Maybe it's a kick out. Either way, they're looking to create for themselves and for their teammates inside that 3-point line.
Out of bounds to K-State. So the Wildcats have it up 34 and can hold for the final shot.
And these are great opportunities right here for K-State. As you said, 15.3 on that clock. You want to execute here at the end of the half.
Castillo will set the table. And has it stripped. Barnett with the steal. Mayfield won't get the shot off. 55-21, K-State. And we'll see what transpires here as the Wildcats have built a 55-21 lead. Mississippi Valley State went that final 7:57 without a field goal. And that changes quickly as Mayfield hits a turnaround from the short corner.
He's been the second leading scorer for Mississippi Valley over the course of their first 9 games, has been their top 3-point threat, one of their best rebounders as well. Just a great all-around player that would love to get it going here in the second half.
Mississippi Valley with the zone look here to begin the second half. Bashir gonna have to make a play here, gets it to Rapiak to beat the shot clock, and tipped out of bounds to Valley.
They played a few possessions of zone early in the first half, and I thought that they were very effective in the sense that they locked down and really didn't give Kansas State a ton of opportunities to penetrate. When they went man-to-man, that's where those penetration lanes, the ability to get to the rim off the bounce, opened up for the Cats.
Into Sams. He takes a tough turnaround. I don't know if that was an air ball or a block shot, but it was not close. Haggerty, transition three, hits. Third triple of the night, and Haggerty has 18.
Well, he's double figures now in every game this season. And while the last couple have been frustrating outings, finding that rhythm and stepping up and knocking down open shots from deep here at home.
Mayfield going back to work. He gets double teamed. Barnett with a good look, and James has another layup.
That's where the penetration to the middle can be such a backbreaker. You've got to keep guys out of the lane. And if you're going to let him in there, then there's got to be backside rotation. K-State was late, gives up the layup.
Bashir, he's got another three. Third one of the night for Bashir. So Bashir, Johnson, Castillo, Haggerty, all the shooters getting on track from deep here tonight.
I think the hardest part when this has been a three-game homestand and you lose the first two games of it, you feel like you always are going to shoot better at home, but finally finding that confidence here tonight and seeing the ball go through the hoop, it just can do wonders to build this group up of what they're going to need to be able to do over the next couple weeks.
Got a road game at Creighton coming up on Saturday in Omaha. Creighton got blasted on the road at Nebraska. The Huskers still undefeated and into the top 25.
K-State now 8 of 16 from behind the arc, and PJ Haggerty with all sorts of time to get his feet set, but it's the inside-out opportunities where K-State has thrived here tonight against the zone and even in the man. We've seen those kickouts, and Bashir coming into tonight 46% from behind the arc. Scoring's dropped off a bit as it has for most of these perimeter shooters, but he's finding that rhythm here at home.
Bashir gets it back. Two good bounce passes, and showtime jam for McGriff. That is sharing the basketball right there, and McGriff up high to hammer it down.
The unselfishness has really come to play tonight. And that's a good sign for Jerome Tang in this offense, is that they are much better when they share and pass the ball. It doesn't stick. You got to find the open guy, an easy bucket and a flush.
James flashes open again. Too strong this time. Rapiak fouled as he grabs the board. Foul on Mazine.
And the effort to be able to find inside out, but just a great look from Rapiak on the bounce pass. And we saw an early miss in that first half from McGriff, and that doesn't happen very often. But able to finish with authority. And that 1-2 punch of Rapiak and McGriff inside, it's had a lot of success tonight for Jerome Tang, as he's had those two guys in the starting lineup.
Unforced error there as McGriff throws it away. Stolen right back by Nate Johnson. Tried to go between two defenders looking for contact and couldn't finish it. Quickly, James up the floor. He pops for two that won't go. And out of bounds off the hands of Mazine, looking for the alley-oop to Johnson.
And wanting to push pace, that's where this team's had their success. We've seen them thrive tonight to find that rhythm again, kind of get themselves some of those easy looks, whether it's been layups, dunks, threes in transition. It's just come a little bit more easier tonight. And give credit, because I think that this is a group where they've put some pressure on themselves and they felt that frustration, no doubt. And I think playing within themselves, making that next pass, looking to be unselfish, reaping the benefits of it here so far.
Skip pass. Castillo back out front to PJ. Into traffic, but a travel first on Castillo. Timeout on the floor. Kansas State extending its lead here in the second half. 63 Johnson, who's had a nice game. PJ Haggerty leading the way with 18 for the Cats.
And the message continues to be that no letdown concept, that this group has got to be able to put together 40 minutes of that energy, effort, and attention to detail. A good start here in the second half to doing just that.
Mayfield blocked by Buka. I think Mayfield came down on an ankle.
Yeah, it looked as though he may have come down. He spins twice, gets in the air. A great job by Buka. And then just gets stepped on the way down. And his foot goes, and those are the ones that you hate to see. Hasn't gotten up yet. Trying to shake it off a little bit, knowing that there's not a ton of depth on the bench for Coach Ivory and the Delta Devils. And he's been a big piece of what this team has done so far this season, coming in as their second leading scorer and their top rebounder.
Yeah, 14.2 points a game, 7 boards a game. Hopefully he can walk it off and return here as Lamont Sams will come back in. Third block shot of the night for Buka. Make it 4, and the rebound. Johnson lines it up. Bang! Nate Johnson, another 3.
Came into tonight shooting 42% from behind the arc, but those are those threes in the corner off those secondary break looks. You got to push pace and find your shooters.
K-State 9 of 17 from downtown. Johnson, another steal. Ahead to Haggerty, too strong.
Johnson wanted him to cut, and he wanted him to cut early. I think he was looking maybe for a bit of an alley-oop.
And James drops a deuce at the free throw line. Castillo left alone. Corner 3, rebounded by Manning. He's blocked. James comes out of there with it. Sams, no on the 3, and Manning just ripped it away.
Taj Manning's been a spark off the bench for Jerome Tang. That's what they've needed, is more minutes from him to be able to give him that boost and some extra looks. You got to have people on the bench that you can go to.
50th career game with 20-plus points for PJ Haggerty. Nation's leading scorer at 23.6 a game. Back on track tonight for Jerome Tang and company. Pocket pass thrown away. Johnson, Euro step, and count the bucket on the goaltend.
This just feels as though we've had better rhythm from this Kansas State offense. Whether that's been PJ Haggerty in the half court or in the full court, tip pass, but able to finish. What you like to see is once the ball is in the hands, whether it's Castillo or Bashir or Nate Johnson, the others are leaking out, that they are running the floor. And you got to run hard. You got to want the basketball in that full court, get a chance to finish on the break.
Half court D from K-State. Just been suffocating here tonight. Weak side board to Bashir. Long lead pass. James, so athletic, broke it up. K-State will keep the possession.
I think we talked about at the very top some of what the woes have been. We broke it down to the self-inflicted wounds as well as the defensive intensity. And this Kansas State team tonight has done a much better job of limiting opportunities that have been easy for Mississippi Valley State. Whether it's been penetration, they have done a great job of contesting shots, and they have been really good in their transition defense. They haven't allowed them to leak out and get those easy buckets.
Rebounded by Rapia. Castillo hits for three. David's in double figures with 10 and his second three of the evening.
What we've seen many times tonight, another run by this Wildcat offense, 15-2 over the last 5+ minutes.
There's a good pass in the finish for Mazine. Good skip pass. Open three. Bury it. Abdi Bashir with 12.
For a team that has not reached 70 points in the last 3 games, this Kansas State offense now at 76. We've got 12 minutes to go in the second half.
James trying to answer and does. His 27th three of the year. In the first 3 of the night to drop for Mississippi Valley State. Bashir open again, hits.
It's high volume for the junior, and you see it. Coming off 8 points against Bowling Green, 11 against Seton Hall, where he was just 3 of 9 from behind the arc. But he has stepped up with confidence, 50% tonight. He's 5 of 10.
James stepped out of bounds as we head to a timeout. It is raining threes, putting up those type of numbers, leading the nation in scoring so far this year at 23.6 and another 20-point effort tonight.
Yeah, he's had 7 games so far this year. He's been 20+. He's been in double figures every one of the Wildcats contests this year. The All-American draws a lot of attention, but he's managing to be able to find ways to score tonight, and it has come easy for him. What I like is he hasn't tried to force too much, and that makes a big difference in this Wildcat offense.
And Andre Kostic makes an appearance after having not played in the last 2 games and quickly puts 2 on the board with a pretty reverse layup.
Yeah, the freshman, a bit of instant offense. You know he's got 3-point range, but puts it on the floor and goes baseline. I think one of the biggest struggles for the 6'6" forward has just been making that transition to the speed and physicality of Division I basketball and what he's got to be able to do defensively. And what Jerome Tang and this staff are asking of you. You know he can shoot, you know he can score. He's just got to be able to hold his own on this end.
Yeah. Halfway through the second half here, and K-State well on its way to 100 tonight. Deep three, no. Rebounded by Bashir. Haggerty transition three, book it, he's got 23.
This group has been at their best when they are out on the move and in transition in the open floor. You've got to find those shooters. It's a pro-style mentality, get to the corner. We've seen it from Johnson and Haggerty all night.
Bashir gives it up to Haggerty for a layup. Now 25 for Haggerty. And James, that's got to be something, doesn't it? Well, it ends up being a 3 for Lamont Sams.
Yeah, it felt like it was a bit of something, but there was a no call by the official, broken play. And Lamont Sams knocks down a 3. That helps for Mississippi Valley State.
Timeout on the floor, Haggerty with 25.
They will host San Diego State on Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. Central. That game here on ESPN+. The Aztecs, an NCAA tournament team a year ago. They come into this game 5-3, but they won the Mountain West Championship last season, went to the big dance. They understand what it takes to get it done on the road. Will be a good challenge for Kansas State.
Haggerty feeling it tonight from downtown. He's got another one in 28.
Sometimes you just have to see the ball go through the basket with consistency. And I think if you're PJ Haggerty, Abdi Bashir, just to be able to kind of find some rhythm here at home tonight.
Yeah.
You see their shoulders sort of set back a little bit and kind of the weight come off. They're playing with a bit more confidence, and that's a great sign for this K-State squad.
5 of 6 from downtown tonight. Rapiak finds a cutting. Kamari McGriff, who is fouled. I don't know that the opponent necessarily mattered tonight.
No.
K-State just needed to get some confidence back.
You are absolutely right, because we had talked about whether it's self-inflicted wounds or not playing with as much intensity on the defensive end, not stepping up and knocking down shots. I think the turnover numbers have something that's plagued. You know, think about what PJ did is he had this is 17 points. He had 11 points against Seton Hall, 6 boards, but 6 turnovers. And you've just got to be able to eliminate some of that. It does come with what you see from the opponent's defense, but it's also about playing within yourself, not trying to do too much. We've seen tonight good shot selection, sharing the basketball, really playing within the framework of what this offense can and should be.
Well, Jerome Tang said no letdown, and the Wildcats have not let up here in the second half. They had 55 at the break, already up to 90.
I think that's a tough thing when you play with a big lead. You can't let your foot off the gas. You've got to continue to keep that attention to detail, stick with the game plan, guard with high intensity, keep that pressure up. You've still got 9 minutes to go. You're going to see a lot of different looks and lineups here, I think, as this game closes.
James still working hard at the other end. Castillo's got him tied up, and we'll head the other way with it. Jerome Tang applauding the effort there with the Cats up by more than 50.
You want to see your guys get on the floor, go for loose balls, win the 50-50 possession. That's exactly what they did right there. And now you retain possession here under 9 minutes to go. David Castillo out at that point position, going to run the show for the Cats.
Kostic got open, couldn't get a shot off, and Castillo mistimed the pass there. Thought Rapiak was going to spot up.
He wanted to cut. He thought he was going to zig, one zagged.
Yeah.
That was where that one went. If you're Rapiak, yes, he's got that three-point range, but you want to see him attack the rim and get to the paint.
Mayfield back in there after tweaking an ankle. Double team. Oh, good pump fake. Barnett gets it back. No, and McGriff with the board for K-State. Castillo all alone, and K-State's got another 3. It has been open season from beyond the arc, especially here in the second half for K-State. Castillo up to 13. James tries to answer. Kostic took the bump, lines up a 3. Rebounded by Mayfield. Beautiful pocket pass and an easy layup for Emzine.
It's one thing we've seen all night tonight from the Delta Devils is they are going to pass and cut hard. You've got to be able to have your head on a swivel defensively to be able to get in right position.
Castillo calling for it and hits another 3.
Back-to-back looks from deep from the sophomore, and that confidence continues to grow.
Nice screen by James allows Mayfield to get all the way to the rim.
You
97-4.
The one thing that people have said about PJ is that he has been a high-volume shooter, and so you're going to see a lot of attempts. But tonight, that has not been the case. He has been incredibly efficient, 5 of 6 from behind the three-point line. That's a season high. He was 4 of 7 when he posted 37 points against Mississippi State at T-Mobile. But when you're the primary ball handler, yes, you're going to have to make a lot of decisions, and you've got to be the guy that is not only going to be a scorer, but you've got to be a distributor. We've talked about the fact that he's an underrated passer. We've seen that tonight, but I think he did a great job of keeping this offense on track tonight where they needed it the most. Now this team's got to close it out.
CJ for the century mark. K-State's got 100. 17th three of the night for K-State. Wildcats 17 of 29 from downtown. It's interesting. They were at one point in the season over 50% from three-point range, and then over the last 2 games dropped all the way down to 38% as James hits. But boy, tonight we're going to have to do the math. They're going to be up towards that 50 again as Marcus Johnson tries his first attempt of the year, rebounded by Kostic. Castillo feeling it. Yes.
One thing about the three-point shot, Ben, is it can shoot you in a game and it can also shoot you out. What it has done tonight, it has given this Wildcat offense a ton of confidence. They've not only done it in transition in the half court, a couple broken plays, but the kickouts and the next pass is where I think they have taken big strides with their offense here against Mississippi Valley State.
Mayfield trying to isolate on Marcus Johnson. James pops from the corner, catches the side of the glass. It's been that kind of night for Mississippi Valley State, although not for James. He's played well. And Kostic throws it away.
An encouragement from that Wildcat bench for the young freshman, really wanting to think about making and going down to the next play. You've got to flush the mistake, whether that's a miss or a turnover. Now you've got to set yourself up here and play solid defense. It has been an all-out effort defensively by this K-State team tonight. They've turned up the intensity. They've stayed with it in the attention to detail. You don't want to lax that the last 5 minutes.
Nice ball fake, and a 15-footer for Punch comes up short. Johnson hits. He can shoot it. Great touch for a big man, 40% last year from downtown at Bowling Green.
First action of the year came in the first half here a week ago against his old team in Bowling Green. Played a couple minutes against Seton Hall, and now hits that first points of the season.
Mayfield, turnaround, offensive rebound by Punch, and he's fouled. Punch still playing hard here with 4:05 to go.
That's exactly what you're going to get from Mississippi Valley State all the way till the final buzzer. But just on, that's where Marcus Johnson gets his feet set. And what a huge advantage, utilize him maybe more as this season progresses for Jerome Tang. Simply because if you can have a guy at his size to be able to play at that 4-5 with that type of range, it really forces the defense to have to stay honest. You can't leave him on a trailer on the break because he's going to knock down threes from the top of the key.
He came in with almost 1,900 career points. I mean, he was Bowling Green's leading scorer last year.
He can fill it up. There's no doubt about it.
Taj Manning set to check back in. Punch knocks down a pair. Manning will get Castillo. Another good night for the young sophomore, David Castillo, 19, including 5 of 8 from three-point range. Bashir, Haggerty, Castillo all have 5 threes. Johnson's going to look for another one. Boy, that was on target.
It was straight, just short. As you can see, he likes to float out there on the perimeter. Going to have to mix it up on the inside some. especially at his size.
Kostic with the steal. Buka, why not? Every time he touches it, the student section wants him to shoot.
He has most definitely become a fan favorite of this Kansas State student section.
And another block. That'll endear him even more. Fans love a 7-2 player that can produce. Buka's
favorite. They love his effort. As we say, you can't teach size. So it's 7-2. The ability for him to be that rim protection, to kind of change the game. But the one thing you've got to love is that he's just logging more and more minutes consecutively for Jerome Tang and this staff. It was 17 minutes that he had against Seton Hall. Now he's played over 16 here tonight. I think that's just a really good sign because they need someone in that lockdown middle of the paint. If the big guy can do it, he's going to continue to see more and more minutes and that time go up.
Bunch of 5s on his stat line tonight. 5 points, 5 boards, 5 blocks. Mayfield will not challenge Buka down low. Takes the jumper, but comes up short. Johnson with the rebound. Who's looking for a 3 on this trip? Well, instead they'll lob it inside, and Buka's fouled. It's dead week here at Kansas State, so no midweek games, but K-State, big one coming up on Saturday in Omaha on the road against Greg McDermott's team that's down a little bit. They lost a lot of firepower off of last year's team.
But still a very difficult place to play.
Oh, yeah.
You go to Creighton, and you know they will have a big crowd. Then it's home on December 20th against South Dakota out of the Summit. One last non-conference game after the Christmas holiday, and then it is straight into the gauntlet of the Big 12. And it is not going to be an easy start for Kansas State, Ben. It's at home against BYU, who's in the top 10. Arizona, #1 team in the country. And then you're looking at Arizona State, who's also receiving votes. That's the next 2 when they take that Arizona trip after they host BYU at home.
There's no easy games in the Big 12 this year for anybody.
No.
CJ gets it up on the glass. Kostic will dribble it back out and take the 3. Halfway down and out. Check of the net rankings, which came out for the first time last Monday. Coming into tonight, K-State was 98. Creighton's at 108. But Creighton's going to be, they're going to win some games in the Big East, right?
Yes,
so,
absolutely. And you're going to see those numbers go up. You think about even for Kansas State suffering the loss to Seton Hall that they had here over the weekend, another Big East team. You're looking for those to be able to kind of help you along the way. But you got to take care of your business, and that's why I think the stretch of the next 3 games in the non-conference, the 2 before the Christmas holiday and then Louisiana Monroe after, before you hit Big 12 action, critical to keep this Kansas State team on the right track, firing on all cylinders and continuing to build that defensive intensity.
Tulsa 48 in the net, their only loss to Kansas State, and Cal 59 in the net, their only loss is to K-State. So you're a Wildcat fan, you're hoping
yes.
those 2 keep winning to get you at least a quad 2, and you know, who knows what happens, maybe a quad 1 by the end of the year. But
well, and I think for a team like Cal playing in the ACC, which seems so strange to say,
yeah.
But for them to be in the ACC, and you think about the competition that they're going to see, the likes of North Carolina, Duke, Wake Forest, NC State, all of those, great competition. They can win some of those games. They can steal a couple along the way. That goes a long way for your net numbers.
K-State with 30 assists tonight. That's tied for the most since 1985. We've got the record book out here with the Cats. Well over 100. Tough jumper drops for Delkedrick Holmes. Kostic all alone. Tip try from Johnson won't drop. And Johnson gets called for the foul here in the backcourt.
It kind of got caught with his hand in the cookie jar that time. Trying to make a play in the backcourt. The miss by Kostic, can't get it to go. Loose ball. Just too much there.
K-State also with 13 threes this half. That's one away from the record for most ever in a half by K-State, which was the Ski Jones game against Fresno back in '94 that we referenced at halftime.
See, that's 2 times that has come up. That's fantastic.
There were about this many people at that game.
March 1994, ladies and gentlemen.
Quarterfinal game of the NIT that not too many people were interested in.
There were a lot of people that watched it on TV, though. You gotta give credit. There were a lot of people that saw Ski's performance that day.
Shot clock off. And Missy, final thoughts here. Kind of what the doctor ordered for K-State. They knew their assignment and they got it done.
You're absolutely right. I think this was all about this Kansas State team knowing